Welcome back to another episode of You Asked For It, the show where you send us questions and we talk about them. Right?
Yep.
That's right.
Okay, I told you guys today's a fun one.
Yep.
Okay.
We've done serious in the past.
Okay.
This one's more loosey-goosey.
Okay.
Okay? No limits. All right?
Boy.
No limitations at all. Number one bucket list item.
Dull sheep.
A dull sheep hunt. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Can you explain what that would look like a little bit?
That would look like going to Northwest Territories or Alaska, high in the mountains, and hunt a dull sheep. They live way above tree line.
What does it take to get to a dull sheep?
It takes a week of horseback just to get up as far as you can to set up a camp. And then every day you go from that camp up into the rocks and glass and try to find it. And sometimes you won't get back to that camp. You might spend a night out. It's literally you carry stuff. You kind of hunt and stay the night and hunt and stay the night. It's an extreme adventure.
Eventually, you run into the doll store, and that's where you buy the cute little ceramic
Doll
sheep.
Good deal.
Yeah.
The store is very elusive, though. That's why you got to hunt it.
It's always moving.
It's easy. My bucket list, I just talked about this yesterday with my family. Basically, my bucket list includes killing 4 animals. Yep. But dull sheep would
one
be
of
the
them.
top.
Dull sheep is number one.
Yeah. A muskox would be another one.
Isn't the muskox like you got to ride 100 miles on a snowmobile and
Yeah. Again, you're spending the night out on the.
Are all
frozen
of the
tundra.
animals you want to harvest in sub-zero temperatures?
No.
Oh.
I would like to get an Alaskan moose. I have a Canadian moose, but that's a different species.
I'm just Canadian. You want Merkin. I mean, obviously.
Anyway, that's simple. And then also a record class mule deer. So that's just
okay.
that's not no extreme, so it's a mule deer, it's an Alaskan moose, a dull sheep, and a muskox.
Do you remember when we went to the Grand Canyon and there was just like
And it was terribly disappointing.
No, not that.
Oh.
But there was just mule deer like
Everywhere.
just chilling. Like they're so
Yeah.
domesticated they
And
didn't even care.
huge elk.
And those
Yeah.
two guys we met that
Yeah.
showed
They're-
us a picture of their like absolute trophy elk.
And they
We're
waited
talking
10 years to get the
400-inch
license.
elk,
10 years
Yeah.
they waited to hunt that.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Seems like a waste when I can go to the store and buy meat.
So you want to go out into the freezing cold and sleep in a tent and try and
What I want is the adventure and then an animal to represent where it came from, its habitat. So, yeah, I'm not like I don't just love being in sub-zero 30 below.
I was going to say, can you describe that again and then ask me?
yeah.
So going out, tenting, sub-zero, no good food, no electricity. That's the bottom of my list.
The bottom of the bucket list.
Actually, you were out at go outside.
Nope.
I'm already out.
That sounds horrible.
I'm not going outside.
Oh, funny. Okay, well, cool. Is that something you're going to achieve?
I have no idea. I don't know if I'm going to be alive tomorrow, but it is kind of a long-term sort of goal where I would like to do these things. Now, they say at dull sheep, if you're over 50, you're that's kind of like the cutoff, man. You got to be in really good shape if you're over 50. Well, I'm 60, so it looks like it's getting more and more out of reach.
Yeah.
However, if I had an opportunity to go, or if one was reasonable, I would probably still do it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So backstage, Chris Stapleton. All right, we can move on. No, I'm just kidding.
Here we go. I'm not sure if I have like a specific one. So you might think this is just a cheating answer, but I would love to just go travel to about 5 or 6 different places.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, that
I
would
think
be
a lot of bucket lists include travel.
Yeah. If money and time and all that were
No limitation.
Yeah, I'd love to go to China. I'd love to go to Scotland. I'd love to visit the Mediterranean.
China. You did say China.
I did say China. I watch, and it's only because of this.
Move on. Oh, sorry. Too soon?
It was like this 4 or 5 part documentary on like not like Hong Kong, Beijing, China, like nature China.
Oh.
And like some of just the cool natural wonders they have there that I never knew before. And so that made it onto my list because of that.
7. They have one of the 7 wonders of the world, right?
Yeah, I don't care about the wall.
Oh, okay.
Meh.
All right.
Meh.
I mean, if you're in China, I don't.
I mean, I probably would, but like I wouldn't go to, just for the wall.
Yeah.
You know what they say? When in Rome, visit the Colosseum, right? Isn't that the state?
Something
That's
like
the phrase,
that.
right? Yeah.
When in Rome.
So when in China, you got to visit the wall.
Yes.
Will commercial space travel be available in my lifetime?
Probably.
Then that would be at the top.
Space. You want to go to space?
Yep.
Huh.
I think that'd be cool.
I don't know that I'd want to go to space. I mean, what is there outside of saying, well, I went to space? I didn't do anything. I just went up, turned around, came back.
I think it'd be cool to be up there and like float around, no gravity for.
No, if you're gonna land
A
on
while.
the moon and walk around on
Yeah,
the moon,
they're
I'd
gonna-
be with
they're
you.
gonna give you a
I'd hope
helmet,
there'd
you
be
can-
something
but
like
just
that.
flying out and flying back.
No, not that. That'd be boring.
Oh, okay.
But like, and not even like a week, just like 3 days,
I don't know
Go
that
up
it
there,
would be
float
boring.
around,
I just
visit the moon, look at the space station, be tethered to a cord and fly out and be fearful for my life. Like, oh my gosh, what if it? And then come back.
Do you think they would give you a cyanide capsule
Maybe.
to
I
bite
hope so.
if
If
you
the cord
got
breaks.
untethered or something? Is that true? I've always heard the astronauts had that.
a cyanide capsule.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because if they can't get back,
No,
It's
I,
just quick death.
I understand
Yeah,
that,
so-
but wouldn't just taking your helmet off be a pretty quick death too?
Maybe.
I don't know.
If you just went, I mean, that'd go pretty.
Face.
That would go pretty quick too, I would think. All right, that's pretty morbid. What do you got?
Travel.
I would, if there was no limits,
Yeah. no limits.
I would love to play a packed stadium.
Oh, okay.
That would be amazing.
How big of a stadium?
A stadium, not a club. I've done that. I want to play like
I've done that.
60,000.
yeah. That'd be good.
I was watching old clips. I don't know how I got into it on TikTok, but like old clips of like Woodstock '99 and like some other festival out in California, and like 100,000 people all like. I wonder if that'll be a thing ever again.
I had a friend that played Woodstock '99.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yep. He
was
said it
nuts.
was a rush. He goes, you couldn't see anything but people
Yep.
from the stage. It
As
was
far
nuts.
as you could see, just people. That's
Yep.
crazy.
Yep.
That'd be fun.
Wow.
That would be a rush.
That
Johnny?
would be cool. No limits.
Is this within the realm? I've just thought. Is this within the realm of reality?
Yeah, when I answered,
Yeah, I
it
think
was
reality.
a bucket list.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
you
not.
know.
I'm not talking about things that like are literally impossible.
I mean, you said no limits.
Yeah, but well, then yeah. If I guess I want to hang out with Spider-Man then, and I want to like.
Okay, is
gonna
it
say
really
be
a
Batman.
bucket list? Is it a wish list or is it a
No, this is a bucket list. This is
Okay.
something that could happen.
All right.
I think a realistic one. I mean, I have a no limits one. Realistic would be. I've never been to Lambeau Field, so I'd love to go watch Packers game at Lambeau Field. But kind of a no limitations. I would love to go with my wife to the. I think it's like Hobbit Town or whatever in New Zealand, like where the hobbits lived.
Everything's
in the,
built for your size.
Yes, where the hobbits lived in Lord of the Rings.
You'd be the king.
I think that would be super cool.
That would be cool.
Okay, hobbits aren't real, right?
No,
No.
but the
just wanna
town in
reiterate
which
that
they
again.
lived actually exists.
Hobbits aren't real, right?
No, hobbits are not real, but the town in which the fictional characters lived on screen actually exists,
Yeah.
and it's in New Zealand,
Yeah.
and it would be cool.
Red stags are in New Zealand too.
Something else to kill.
See, you say that, and it's like my excitement meter literally doesn't move. It just sits there like. Okay.
That's too bad.
What if? Okay, so
right.
none of us said. Mine was a little bit this way, But if you had $1 billion, what is the first thing you would purchase? Maybe not the first, but like, what's your bucket list purchase?
See,
You don't want to buy an animal because you want the experience.
Absolutely.
There's some people that just go out and just buy the head. That's it.
I'd buy the White House.
I'd buy the White House.
I mean, I'd buy my
the president.
Yeah, no, I'd buy my presidency. With $1 billion, don't you think you could?
No.
Really?
No.
There's nothing else I want.
I have the not so fun answer. I think if I had $1 billion, the first thing I would do would be like giving somewhere. I don't.
Yeah.
And then it would definitely be a new vehicle because I drive the crappiest vehicles on the planet.
$1 billion is more than you can imagine. You would do 20 things at the same time.
No, you could, but like first plan of action, like holy cow, I have $1 billion.
Your first
What
selfish...
is my first dollar going to be spent on?
No.
Yeah.
Your first selfish purchase.
I was going to say, because first thing you would do is tithe off that, right?
This is vehicle, probably 2 of them. Then it would be property, buy the plans for a build, start the build. It would be house,
Vehicles and a home.
vehicles and a home right away. That'd be first.
How much
things.
would you spend on a vehicle? If you had $1 billion, would you go out and buy like a $300,000 Bugatti?
Nope, I would buy. Mine would probably be a diesel truck.
So
And-
$300,000 truck.
No, I'd 60,
100 grand.
60 to 100 grand on a truck.
So instead of getting it lifted, would you get it lowered? Sorry.
Gosh. That'd just
Sorry.
be a ladder
I never get those.
Like the rope ladder. Fall out of it.
It's a
I would
Ranger
have
diesel.
no interest in buying a $300,000 car. If I had $1 billion, I would have no interest in that.
You drive a decent vehicle.
I would drive a nice vehicle, but it
Well, you
would
do
be a
drive-
Chevy or a Ford.
I'm not buying luxurious.
Yeah.
I'm literally.
But I would buy new, for sure.
Luxurious to me is the radio works.
That would change.
Check
quickly
engine
if
light
you had
isn't
$1
on.
billion.
The check engine light isn't on.
The check engine light is not on. I don't feel like I'm gonna
And it
die
doesn't
whenever
make
I get on the freeway.
unnecessary noises.
Yes. Yep.
If I had $1 billion, I would probably buy a Porsche.
Yeah, that's your car.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
totally not
I'd
practical for
probably
the state of
buy the
Minnesota.
1989 Michael Keaton Batmobile.
I wonder if
Which if you had that kind of money, you could buy it.
That to me is the coolest vehicle ever made. Which you're like,
But when you grow up,
where did your excitement meter go?
I think when you grow
Nowhere.
up, you might get past that. I don't know.
No, never.
I would buy Jay's Jeep.
Oh, I do know what I would buy. No, yeah, when you said Jeep, it totally, because
I would
I've
buy
thought
a
about
Jeep.
this before. Jurassic Park Jeep, like old school, 1993.
Those old
The
school
Jeeps
ones
that
are
they
great.
rode
What
in
is
with.
wrong with you
With the Jurassic Park
90s
logos
Jeep
on
guys?
it. Yeah.
Those Jeeps are just
I would
killer.
own one of those, and that would be my summer car.
Oh, yeah.
A Jurassic Park Jeep. I would drive around everywhere.
Never have a top on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're talking
Nope.
about just like stupid purchase, that's what that would be.
Yep. Irresponsible, selfish. Like, I've got money burning a hole in my
Yep.
pocket. I'm
Jurassic
gonna go
Park Jeep.
Jurassic Park Jeep.
Yep.
And you would just buy a Jeep.
I would just buy a Jeep. Yeah.
And
Interesting.
then it would be land and house. I wouldn't care about vacations because if I had 100 acres, I don't need to go anywhere.
Why would you stop at
ever
100?
again?
You can see people on the other side of 100.
Yeah, I suppose.
You got to be like into the 5 digits.
I suppose.
Buy Montana.
Buy Montana.
Montana's mine. Everybody get out.
We did a wedding at this one guy owns a ranch. He owns the venue, and he owned 260 acres. And he said he bought the original 120 when he was 26 years old, and it's just southern Minnesota rolling like hills.
Beautiful.
And then he goes, yeah. And then maybe like a decade ago, he said the other 140 that butts up to my 120 went up for sale, and he's like, and I couldn't have anybody like living on it, so I just bought it. And it's like, all right, well, now you got 260 of
That's
just
what you do.
rolling southern Minnesota hills.
My gosh.
Ugh.
If I would not live in Minnesota if I had unlimited money, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's
Colorado.
weird to think about this. Because
It is.
It brings out our selfishness, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Hey, I would give a lot of that $1 billion away.
Of course you would. What are you going to do with it?
I
don't know how I'd
I'm not
spend
gonna
$1 billion.
Spend all of that.
No.
I'm going to drive my
So
Jurassic
here's a
Park
better
Jeep.
question. You and I have actually talked about this with pastors and really successful ministry people. How much would you keep for yourself? How much is enough? There, like, I don't know if I could justify. Okay, I have $300 million just set away for me.
Would you keep more than 2.5 million?
Well, that's my question. Would you or wouldn't you? You know, what is enough?
What's enough?
Because I mean, at my age, I look at it and think, if you're going to really retire and live to be 85, you need $2 million to live that long if you have no income.
To still live your standard, middle class
To
American.
live a $80,000 a year income
Yeah.
life.
I don't know.
I think. Well, I mean, obviously, the amount you would need and the amount I would need are
Or
totally
two
different.
different. Yeah, you would
So,
need twice as much.
at least. How much is enough? I don't know.
So if you had $1 billion, you'd have no problem giving half of it away.
No, not at all.
So you got $500 million left.
Jeez. Jeez.
You would
You'd
have
be
to
fine
be
giving half of that away.
You would have to be so irresponsible to even spend that amount. Mm-hmm.
Although there are people that do it.
Well,
There are people who do it.
I only
sure.
need one Jurassic Park Jeep. And then I'm good.
I just watched a video on YouTube. It came up in the suggested feed of it's the most expensive house in the modern world. It's $100 million.
$100 million home.
$100 million.
You
It's
could
like
have that and it wouldn't even
100,000
make a
square
dent.
foot home. It's ridiculous. It's
I
got
would not
8
want
different
that.
pools and as he was walking through, I watched it. You would never even walk through 98% of this home. Its master bedroom was bigger than all of the houses I've ever owned combined.
Yeah.
The master bedroom had its own kitchen.
See, I don't understand that.
Well,
Master
And nobody
bedroom's
lives
its own
there.
house.
plus
Yeah.
another, plus 2 or 3 other kitchens.
Well,
Why?
You talked about $1 million homes in Florida that
Yeah.
people don't even live in.
Right.
It's like their third vacation home.
With $3 million yachts in front of them that
Yeah, that
never
aren't
hit the
being
water.
used.
And the reason is because they got 6 of these houses in other parts of the world.
See, that's just
That's
insane
just
to me.
money that is unbelievable.
That to
There's
me-
money, and then there's money, and then
that
there's
to me
money.
seems
money,
wasteful.
you know?
That seems wasteful.
well,
That's why
think it
if I
is.
had $1 billion, I still wouldn't live in a $3 million home.
No,
It would probably be $1 million home.
I would definitely build one of those pole barn homes.
just huge and awesome on the inside.
Well, most of it is a big garage.
Yeah.
And then your house is up above.
Yeah.
And
Those
they're
are cool.
They're not that expensive to build either.
If you had $1 billion, you probably wouldn't. But anyway,
I think
I like aesthetically how they look.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Most of my money, Kevin, would be spent probably on land. I want to be isolated, at least where I live. It's fun to dream.
How much is enough?
yeah, how much is enough?
Is that assuming that the American dollar is still going to be worth something when I get to retirement age?
We have to. I mean, it's probably not going to be, but
Okay.
we'd have to assume if you're thinking like this.
So
you know,
assuming it's going to be, and assuming inflation keeps going up, I'd say probably for me it would have to be in the $5 to $10 million range to keep a comfortable lifestyle for the next 40 years.
After you blow a bunch of it on all the fun
Well, I
stuff.
mean, I mean, if I had $10 million, I would buy new vehicles and build a
Right.
new home and
Right.
and buy. I don't know if I need 100 acres, but I'd buy a good
Land.
portion as well. So you got to figure the first probably $2 million is just blowing on stupid stuff and going and doing that travel I wanted to do, and putting some away for my girls for when they turn to. But yeah,
okay, now this.
I mean, if you think you need $2 million for 15 years, well, I mean, it's
25 years. 85.
5 years. I don't want to live to be 85.
I'm just saying, you got to plan to 85. But, okay, now, and I don't want to be like Mr. Spiritual here or whatever, but all this daydreaming and selfishness is totally American thought.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
It is.
If one of us were to say, if we got $1 billion and say, God, I will do what you want me to do, how would it look different?
It'd look a lot different.
Yeah.
Except for the Jeep.
I mean,
I think he'd want me to
Just
have
to
a
be
Jeep.
honest.
God,
Hey,
I will
maybe,
do whatever
you know?
you want me to do, and I will get there in my Jurassic Park Jeep.
I will drive down to the middle of Africa to be a missionary in my Jurassic
Yeah.
Park Jeep.
I feel, and this is honest from my heart, I feel that the greatest ministry, money going to, like what's the greatest ministry? If we were to say, I just really feel God wants to use this for his work, I would fund the local church in America before anything else. And I mean churches in America more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about the starving in, East Nairobi? Well, unless I could use that $1 billion to affect their government and actually cause change.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's a
otherwise,
short-term solution.
yeah, just wasting money to kind of address a symptom of a problem seems irresponsible to me. And maybe everybody wouldn't agree with that, but I just think it's irresponsible of those resources to just address a symptom and ignore the problem.
Yeah.
So if that's the case with $1 billion, what about $1,000? Why would I not have the same thought?
Yeah.
That's our Americanism.
It is. I've always said I wish I had a bunch of money so I could give more money away. But
Yeah. So, a true story. I asked a son-in-law one time. I said, "Hey, what would you do if I gave you $1 million?" Just like that. And it was a conversation like this. Well, first thing I'd do is pay off my house, and then I'd buy a new truck, and then I'd buy a car. Anyway, he kind of gave this list, and I would put $200,000 in the bank. Okay. And I said, well, in the last 10 years, he made $100,000 a year. I said, in the last 10 years, you have been given $1 million. How come your house isn't paid for, and you don't have a new truck, and you don't have, it's a true story. I asked him that, and it came down to this. I guess I just pissed my money away and don't realize. Did I just say piss?
It's fine. We learned we have a bleeper bar.
Okay.
Don't need
and
a
like,
bleep for
wow,
that.
kind of goes to Dave Ramsey. If you don't tell your money what to do, it's
Yeah.
going to do whatever it wants or tell you what to do. And so like that, we can wish and wish, but he literally went through $1 million and he didn't have anything that he said he would if I gave him $1 million. Poor planning or poor living.
Well, what a fun episode.
Well, thanks for
You're
sucking
right.
the
This
fun out
was-
of it, Kevin. I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
I told Kevin in the beginning we're gonna have a fun episode. Sorry, and then
I'll figure out a way to ruin it.
He found a way to make it more serious.
I want you to really ponder the meaning of your life and what God wants you to do and why you've been wasting it up to this point.
That's what we should just have Kevin go to little kids' birthday parties and just walk in and say that. Like,
Happy birthday.
Happy 8th birthday, Sammy. In 80 years, you're going to die. Spend it wisely.
okay, well there you go. There's our daydreaming episode. Send us any question you want. Leave a question in the comments. We'll answer anything.
You can write down your bucket list item, your first.
Yeah, what's your bucket list?
Right, 3 things. Your no limits bucket list item, the first selfish purchase you'd have if you had $1 billion, and answer Kevin's question, how much is enough? Those 3 things.
All in the comments.
Yep.
Be cool.
That would be cool. All right, sweet. Thanks for joining us. Comment, like, subscribe. We'll be back. See you.